Yo, happy day 51 of my recording. I meant to bring it up yesterday when it was day 50 and I completely spaced it, as per usual me. And on that note, I watched an Orion Kelly video the other day, again as usual because I just love him, but he was talking about selective amnesia, and it explained like something that has confused me for my entire life. Like, I often don't remember whole conversations. Sometimes I don't even remember I was somewhere with people, and it doesn't, like, even when I was like totally sober. And I think it also goes along with how I perceive time. Like, I've talked before about how I'm pretty good with small blocks of time, especially after being a hairstylist. But yesterday and before is one thing called the past. Like, when events happened are all jumbled up together, and I often have to do like some kind of like timeline reconstruction if I can remember like enough events and like kind of like place them around each other to kind of like figure out when an event that I'm talking about happened. I think this is part of the selective amnesia. But other things I'm super good at remembering, and I've even had a coworker call my memory a steel trap, because I would remember things about jobs that we'd worked on months ago, like down to like super specific details. But I might not be able to remember what I had for lunch yesterday. So I love having that validation that, first of all, I'm not the only one. Second of all, it's not really that I've been heading towards dementia since the day I was born. Like, it has a real explanation, and I am so grateful for that. And then on a completely different topic, I took yet another spider out from my kitchen sink this morning outside, and I didn't see this one before I started running water, and I actually felt serious empathy for this little guy, because his legs got all wet and he was all like tangled up. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't see you there. But I was able to collect him with, I call it the spider kit. It's a little glass tumbler and a coaster with a white back, so it's easy to see them and make sure that they're in fact on the coaster under the glass. And so I collected my little spider collecting kit and collected it and took it outside. And yesterday at work, there was a spider inside, and it was like one of those pale greenish yellow garden spiders. And I definitely am still at the point like where if it was on me or in my hair, I would freak the fuck out. Like, it would not be okay. But having it like on the furniture was fine for me. And several of my coworkers liked it and wanted to just leave it alone inside. But one of my coworkers was just like staring at it a little bug-eyed, and I was like, how are you with spiders? Or how do you feel about spiders? He's like, they're not my favorite. They're not my favorite. And I could tell that, like, if the spider was left alone, he was not going to be able to focus on work. Like, he was going to need to know where that spider was at all times, which is a feeling I understand completely. I have absolutely been there for a majority of my life. And so I was like, well, I'll take it outside if you have a cup. And he did. He provided me a cup and a stiff piece of paper, like cardstock. And I collected the spider and I took it outside. And I was thinking, even like a year or two ago, no one no one, including myself, would have thought that I would become the spider relocator. Like, it's almost unimaginable. And I love it. I love seeing this change in myself. I think it is one of the most like significant markers, I guess, of the progress I've made in my own confidence. And I've talked about how I think that my fear of spiders is connected to confidence. If I feel like I can handle life and I can handle myself, then arachnids don't scare me nearly as much. So I am definitely liking this development and would like to continue further ahead on it and be less and less afraid of things. Oh, yeah. And on that note, I'm definitely not all the way there in all aspects of my life. Well, yesterday's video should show you that. But so last week, I'd been dealing with just a really troublesome job, multiple color corrections on this file before the client was happy with it and ready to print it. And the client also wanted different parameters than we typically do on file types like this. I'm trying to figure out how to explain it without going into like the technical details that will make sense to no one who's not in the print industry. But suffice it to say, I went with the company standards, not really understanding what the client wanted or had provided, I guess. And so the project manager was annoyed with me, understandably, although I feel like her communication could also have been better. Yeah, both of us were at fault. But it really made my heart rate go up. I felt like crying, like it just like flooded me with anxiety, and my inner critic was just like, you should have asked more questions, and what are you doing? And just like totally like shredding me from inside. And I just felt like shit. Just felt awful. And I didn't really mean to, but I was like, I don't know if I'm cut out for this. And I said it out loud. And it was early, so I only had 2 people on my team there, but both of them immediately were like, why would you say that? You're doing great. Like, what's going on? Like, everyone makes mistakes. I was like, oh, I'm so grateful that I have such kind, wonderful teammates. And so, like, they both shared, like, stories where they'd fucked up royally on jobs. And then I was like, and I don't think it's just that I'm making mistakes. Like, I recognize that I'm human, and of course I'm going to make mistakes. But my anxiety just, like, goes through the roof when someone's unhappy with me. And it just, like, feels incredibly uncomfortable. Like my fight or flight just kicks in, and it's like so hard to sit in it and then also like try to work while feeling like I need to like run as far and fast as I can. It is so hard. It is so hard. I really need to learn how to hear criticism without making it mean that I'm incapable, inferior, what else? Incompetent, bad, like just derelict, neglectful, like I really need to learn how to hear criticism without immediately assigning all these meanings to me. Like, mistakes happen, they do. And mistakes in judgment, like seeing okay, so I'm going to try to explain this a little bit. We have two sizes on our print jobs. One is flat size, and that's the size before cutting, and then there's final size. Flat size includes production bleed, which is the picture that's printed outside the lines that will be cut just to make sure that you don't end up with like white edges. You have a little bit of a picture around where you cut so that you can be sure that the edges will all be clean. And on this job, the flat size and the final size were exactly the same. And I thought it was a mistake because we just don't do that ever. We never like cut to the edge of anything we produce. There's always bleed. And so I ignored it. I didn't ask the project manager why flat and final size were different. My brain just was like, that must be wrong. That's incorrect. Superfluous information. And I think that's an understandable reaction. And so did several of my more experienced coworkers. Like they felt like there should have been a specific note in the job explaining why the flat and final size were the same instead of just only having that be the one point of information about it. And I 100% agree. But I still feel like I should have, I did notice it. I did notice that it was a discrepancy. I should have asked about it. So that's on me. But that does not make me an incompetent or bad person at all. At all. And so this experience is just one of many with this team that is just really showing me what healthy relationships can look like. I haven't felt this appreciated and respected and supported on a team like maybe ever, and certainly not within the past decade. I am not questioned by my teammates anyway. The project managers are a different story, but my teammates always start with like the belief that I'm in the right, or at the very least, I did the best I could with the information I had. And we all support each other in this way. And it is just amazing. I feel like in many of my past positions, I've felt, I'm going to use the word exploited, like my capabilities and my competence were seen, but they weren't appreciated. They were just extracted from. And anytime I made a mistake, I would be like, well, I thought you were better than this. Why didn't you ask more questions? Just like blame and shame and like what my inner critic is doing now, it got from other people actually doing that to me. And so I feel like I just kind of thought that was normal after a while. And being on this team where that kind of thing gets real pushback, and where I'm getting real support from my teammates, is showing me that there's a whole other way of being. There's a whole other way of approaching problems and supporting each other, and people can really be good and kind and helpful and teach you stuff that you need to learn without making it mean that you're not as intelligent as you should be, or that you're negligent or whatever. So yeah, I am just so grateful for the experience of working with the people that I work with. I'm so glad that the current company I work with bought the company I had been working for. I liked a lot of my coworkers there, and I do miss working with them on a daily basis, because we all got like kind of, that company was a lot smaller, so we worked more cohesively together. I also had a different position at that company. I operated a CNC table, and I had just talked them into moving me into the file prep department when we got bought. So now I'm in the file prep department at this new company, which I'm grateful for. Although on days where wearing my, I think I just put that in backwards somehow. How is that even possible? That's not possible. I tangled up my earrings somehow. All right, we're gonna take it back out, and then I can show it to you also. What the heck did I do? Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. My little Thunderbirds. And I have my Thunderbird on the back of my shirt too. I don't know if you can see it because I can't look over my shoulder that way. But anyway. Feeling the Thunderbird today. Oh yeah. When that project manager was upset with me the other day, I was thinking maybe I wanted to go back to operating the CNC table, but no, that's not true. I am really glad that I'm learning more about Photoshop and Illustrator, which is the whole reason I wanted the file prep job, was to get more comfortable with those programs, and I am, like, really. So that's wonderful. Is there anything else? Oh yeah, someone mentioned to me that I was hurting my channel by posting every day, that videos need a day or two to gain traction on YouTube. And that, whether that's true or not, I don't think I can do it. I am either off or I'm on. I kind of talked a little bit about an aspect of this in one of my videos about addiction, but like, I'm either recording every day or like not at all. Like if I try to do 3 days a week, I don't think it's gonna happen. It's so easy to say, well, if I'm doing it 3 days a week, then I don't have to record today. I can do it tomorrow instead. And my brain does that kind of thing a lot. But by doing it every day, I just take the choice away from myself. Like, nope, I record every day. And I already, I used to do my art videos every day. I used to paint and record and post those every day when I was doing it on Instagram. Now I record all of those on the weekend, all in one go, usually. I set my timer for 10 minutes and I paint, and when it goes off, it ends the recording for me, which is awesome. And I just do that on repeat until I'm done with my painting, and then I go back and edit, like speed them all up into shorts and add music to them. And then I have my week or two's worth of videos. And so I can do that once a week and still post every day. But again, I need to post every day, because if I don't, then I won't post. Although I think Friday I won't post because I'm gonna run out of paintings before the weekend. But when that happens, it's like I can still stay on track. It's just, if I have a choice on whether I do or don't, I probably won't. So like Florence Given has specific days that she works out. I think it's like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. and that takes the choice away. But my brain still feels like it has wiggle room. If there are other days, like if I'm just not feeling it on Monday, it's like, well, I can do it tomorrow. So no, like, but if it's like, nope, I record every day, then I record every day, whether I'm feeling bad or not. And I belly dance every day, whether I feel like it or not. So yeah. And I just try to make it as easy as possible for myself. And if it takes me longer to become popular on YouTube, then it takes me longer. I kind of don't, I'm not really worried about it though. I just watched a video last night and I don't remember the channel name or the woman's name. It was a channel I don't subscribe to, but I did save the video to my watch later. I'll move it over to my resources for YouTube playlist so I can share it here in the comments, or not in the comments, but in the description. That this woman used to work for YouTube as a partner manager. And so she knows like all the inside scoop. And she says the first 24 to 48 hours don't matter at all. And from what I've seen from my videos, I would say that's true. Like a lot of my videos don't get hardly any views in the first day or two, and then they collect more as time goes on. So I don't know. Even if this person is correct and I'm hurting myself, then, well, that's just the way it's got to be, because this is how my brain works and this is what I want to do, and I'm just gonna go for it full steam ahead. It feels right to me, and that is what is most important to me. So yeah, anyway, may be happy, may be healthy, may be wealthy, may feel at ease. I love you so much. Thank you for being here. Until next time, bye-bye.